Alrighty, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy White Album here, and I am back with some more Witch on the Holy Night. Last time we left off, Aoko and Sojiro had just met. And now, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's been a bit, I say a bit, it's been like 2 days since I've actually played this, but here we go. No long intros or anything. Psych, I have a quick load. Alrighty, here we go. Hold on. Let me get some water, wet my whistle real quick. Alright. A long silence. Though she knew it wouldn't change the situation, she remembered her regret at answering the phone that morning. He meant no harm. She repeated this thought like a mantra in an attempt to keep her impulses in check.
別にあなたのせいじゃないから気にする必要はないわ。
Alright, so we got Jared Leto, he's back. We got Aoko, mean as ever. It's not you, if that's what you're worried about.
ただ、この一瞬とお昼まで眠っていた場合を計りにかけたら、あまりに利益の違いがあって頭を抱えただけよ。
I just, rather be somewhere else right now. With that vague answer, she started to walk again, and turned her gaze away from this rude stranger named Sojiro Suzuki. How's he rude? That's your fault for implying that he is. That's all your fault there, Aoko. You know, just because he's a mountain man. While what constitutes normal is certainly up for debate, most would undoubtedly refer to him as so. He was a simple and nice boy with nondescript features. If he were an ice cream flavor, he would be vanilla. Hey man, nothing's wrong with vanilla, bro. I could throw down with some vanilla every once in a while, man. You know, I mean, my go-to flavor is that chocolate mint. You know, leave in the comments what's your favorite, but yeah, definitely mine's chocolate mint. But I could throw down with some vanilla every once in a while, man. I ain't got no shame. Nice vanilla milkshake every once in a while. Fire. Alright, back to the story. And Sojiro found Aoko to be very businesslike and full of life. I don't know about the full of life part, but I mean, we just started the story, so. There was a certain purpose to her movements, as they began and ended in orderly fashion. The way her finger raised when she pointed at things. The way she made her way across the hallways and classrooms. The way she would occasionally glance back at him to make sure he was keeping pace. Each and every movement was so impressive that he couldn't take his eyes off her. Aoko showed him to his classroom, Class C of the 11th grade. They're in the 11th grade? Oof. Got one more year. Well, I graduated forever ago, but they got one more year. The room certainly displayed more of a human touch than the previous meeting room, but Sojiro was none the wiser as to its function. Aoko gave a brief explanation before they visited individual subject classrooms, as well as the gym, cafeteria, locker room, and school infirmary. Sojiro asked so many questions that much time passed before they reached the AV room on the second floor. Oh dear. Oh, his stomach hurts. He's got the runs, baby. Oh no, we've all been there, man. We've all been there. Sojiro stopped, looking genuinely concerned. It's 20 to 1 already? Wait, what? 20 to 1? Oh, it's timing. Huh? You're kidding, right? This school isn't that big. We'll be done soon. The tour had begun around 10, which meant that 3 hours had passed. A tour of the school shouldn't take nearly as long as this. I fucked that up, but anywhere near this long. That's what I meant to say. That's what it says.
そうだったわね。行く先々で根掘り葉掘り聞かれちゃ、そりゃ何時間でも経つわ。
Maybe if
日
you
が
didn't.
暮れていないのが不思議なくらいね。
Rude. Okay, thank you. Maybe if you didn't ask so many questions, we'd be done by now. It's a miracle it's still light out. Well, if it's 9, it's 3 hours. Isn't that like 12? I think you're over-exaggerating there, Aoko. It'd be lunchtime, normally. Then again, it was raining, so it's probably still a little dark out. Aoko glared at Sojiro. She was being sarcastic, of course, knowing full well he'd never pick up on it. And I can't read. Is he? To her surprise, he looked down apologetically, unable to hide his dejection. Not detection. He's sneaking. Oops. I think I broke him. The guy before her was nothing like earlier. In contrast to seeing his once impenetrable veneer when they first met, she found herself feeling sympathetic, a feeling she's probably never felt before. And that face says it all. Momentarily, at least, until her irritation returned in full force.
で、何がまずいの？覚えることが多すぎてパンクしたなんて言わないでね。
What's the hurry? Don't tell me your brain's not big enough to remember all this stuff.
いや、それもあるけど、学校のことは別にして、1時になるとまずいんだ。
Well, there's that. But it's more about it's almost being 1 o'clock. Sojiro's gaze wandered as if wondered about something. Or worried about something, not wondered, fucking moron. As if worried about something. If he was worried about the weather, he would have had a hard time seeing it as there was no windows in this hallway.
へえ、時間を気にするってことは用事があるのね。
Don't tell me you've got something... Fuck. Alright, let me restart that. Don't tell me you've got somewhere better to be. That's perfect.
人の予定を引っかき回しておいて、自分だけ好きなようにやろうって言うんだ。
Great. I take the time out of my day, and you don't have the fucking decency to hang around. Thanks, you
なんだ、
chooch.
顔に似合わずいい人ね、君。
You're a real piece of work, you know that? Huh? Oh.
いや、褒めても何も出ないぞ。
He's like, no, I'm gonna create a band when I'm 30. Isn't that how 30 Seconds to Mars came to be? Jared Leto made a band when he was like 30. He's like 50, right? So yeah. Thanks, I guess? That's nice of you to say.
誰も褒めちゃいないわよ。
It's not a compliment, dickweed. I love her face. It's great. She yelled at him, unable to hold back her fury.
で、
Well, I'm waiting.
で、
Well, what?
それで、一体何の用なの？
What's happening in 20 minutes? Sojiro's face lit up as he finally understood what she was asking him.
そこは秘密にしておきたい。
It's a secret. He said with a perfectly straight face. Yo, she don't look none too thrilled about what he just said.
慣れ始めたつもりだったけど、こいつのこういったテンポに失神しそうになるわ。
Ugh. Every time I think I got this guy figured out, he finds a way to trip me up. Her frustration was natural. Still, she did everything she could to stifle her feelings and fake a smile.
しずきくん？
You want to repeat that to me, Mr. Suzuki? She took a step forward.
秘密だってば。
Look, like I said, it's a secret, alright? That's all you need to know. That's all you'll never need to add, or need to know. I fucked up my analogy there. Or my phrasing. Feeling the mood change drastically, Sojiro took a step back. He's like, why'd it get cold all of a sudden? And another. And another. No matter how many steps he took back, she kept edging toward him. She was smiling. But he thought he could see the blood boiling beneath her skin.
これ、最後の質問にしとくわね。
Last question, mister.
あなた、私をからかって楽しい？
Do you enjoy mocking me? He had no intention of mocking her, though at this point he doubted presenting any evidence to prove this would be... Evidence to prove this would do too much to erase the forced smile on her face.
わかった。
Let me explain. Alright, before you blow a gasket. His arms raised in surrender. She halted her advance and freed her face from the unseemly smile.
実は1時からアルバイトがあるんだ。でもここはそういうの禁止なんだろ？
The truth is that my part-time job shift starts at 1, but students aren't allowed to have jobs, right?
そうだけど、あ、禁止されてるから秘密にしようと思ったの？バカね。それなら許可さえ下りていれば問題ないわよ。
Yeah, wait. Were you being tight-lipped because you thought you'd get in trouble? All you had to do was get permission, dweeb.
知ってる。
Yeah, you know it's the 80s, man. Nobody uses the word dweeb anymore. We use a little bit more vulgar words, but you know. I know, and I did. I got permission when they accepted me to the school.
へえ。
Really? Aoko's face lit up as she realized he might not be the piece of work she thought him to be. Yet,
しかし、許可は一つしかもらえなか
but
っ
only got permission for one of my jobs. Yo, my man's a hustler?
一つって
Yo, I fuck with it,
あな
man.
た掛け持ちでバイトしてるの？
Gotta make that paper somehow, right? Wait, you have more than one job?
た。これでも2件減らしたんだ。
Well, I quit 2 of them.
生活費だけで大変なのに、学費まで稼がなくちゃいけない。なのに、働き先は一つだけというのはあんまりだと思わないか。
Living expenses are bad enough, but not have to earn money for school as well? Don't you think it's unreasonable of them to only let me work one job?
いや、あんまりなのはあなたの方だと思うけど。
No, I think you're the one who's being unreasonable here. Though still irritated, her opinion of him changed a little. She was impressed that he was able to take care of his tuition and living expenses all on his own. She could also empathize with having no time to oneself. Her anger began to subside. The words part-time job were about the last thing she'd ever expect to hear out of this country boy's mouth.
そういうことなら仕方ないわね。
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
いいわ、行きなさいよ。事情は分かったから。
It's fine, you can go. I get it.
青崎はいいのか？
Will you be okay? She had no idea what his question meant, but she at least understood he was trying to be considerate, which also took her by surprise. She figured he'd just be as dense about people's feelings as he was about everything else.
別に。私もこのまま帰るから。
Man, the fact that I read that without getting tongue-tied is a little impressive on my part, because I felt myself messing up there. I'll be fine. I'll just head home. I get my well-deserved rest. First, though, she thought it best they both stop by the faculty room. Mr. Yamashiro had mentioned that the transfer procedures had already been completed, so all that remained was for him to sign off on her duties.
先生、案内終わりました。
I finished showing him around.
それはお疲れ様。しずきくんもお疲れ様。それで校舎を回った感想はどうかな？
Great job, that goes for you too. What did you think of our school, Mr. Leto?
ありがとうございます。なんというか、とても学校ですね。
It's like a real school? Okay, hold on. Thank you for the tour. It's like a real school. Whatever that means.
そうかそうか。うん、明日から頑張りなさい。
Ha ha ha. That's great to hear. Okay then, best of luck starting tomorrow. She had no interest whatsoever in this pointless wrap-up meeting.
山城先生のことは気にしないでいいわ。
You have to forgive Mr. Yamashiro.
教え子に厄介なことを押し付けてふんぞり返っているぐらい職員室が好きなんだから。何時間でも待ってるでしょ。
He likes the faculty room so much he chooses to kick back there while his students do his dirty work for him. I bet he spends hours in
い
there.
や、待ってるべきじゃない？
Actually, that's actually pretty smart of him.
そう
Oh,
か。青崎がいいんならいいんだな。
all right, forehead. If you're fine with it, so am I.
ん？
Hmm. There it was again. Whatever Sojiro was getting at, Aoko had no idea.
それじゃ行くよ。今日はありがとう。
I'm going to get going. Thanks again for today.
今日だけよ、今日だけ。
Yes, today. Today only. She shooed him away with her hand. Go get. His face bent into a broad smile as he found the gesture endearing. It was a softer expression that she had grown accustomed to seeing out of him. It was the kind of smile that would make anyone smile back. Well, most people at least. Aoko Aozaki didn't betray the slightest hint of a smile.
それじゃまた。
See you later, alligator.
Huh?
Hmm? And with that And with that friendly farewell, Sojiro walked toward the end of the hallway. Or so she thought before he turned to the next class over. Did he just... Sojiro headed straight for one of the windows classrooms. I mean, it's one of the quickest ways, right? Whereupon he opened it with ease. The chilly November air filled the room as the soft sounds of the rain doubled in volume. In that instant, she realized his intention when opening the window. She really wished she hadn't. Damn, first day of school and gonna kill himself? Wild. That's how to traumatize somebody on their day off. No, stop! Leave me alone! He already had one leg out the window when she dashed to stop him. What do you think you're doing? He's got the boots of Hermes, or whatever the fuck it was. Like, you know, from Percy Jackson, the Hermes' kid, he's got like the Converse, but they got the wings on it. He's got those. What am I doing? I'm leaving for my job. That's what? Stupid. What, do you know that a window isn't an exit, don't you? I mean, do you even know what floor you're on? Yeah, the second though. She saw the light of understanding dawn in his eyes. Oh my god. I almost died. We'll put an exit here. This is dangerous. Yo, I think my man is schizophrenic. It's the lack of something between your ears that's dangerous. Her insult went right over his head. Yeah, it makes sense. People here don't normally enter and exit through windows, okay? You should probably... Oh. Hello? Don't you auto-scroll for me? Okay, hold on. Let me give it a second or two. Alright, here we go. Let me restart that. People here don't normally enter or exit through the windows, okay? You should probably remember this information for the future reference. Oh, I know. I just wanted to save some time. By jumping out of a window? Yo, my man's efficient. I like this guy. But thanks. I'll be more careful from now on. Still jumps out the window. I love his dopey little face. The little dopey look on his face is funny. I love it. He pulled his leg back inside and closed the window. His school uniform was soaking wet from the rain. Hey, be my guest. Go outside anyway. Go outside any way you like. Just don't do it in front of me from now on. Anyway, you start school tomorrow, right? Yeah, I'm a little nervous though, which is why I came in early for the tour. Johnny. He bid her farewell before running down the hallway. She hoped he would walk down the stairs and leave through the school entrance like a normal person. I wonder if he's really going to be okay here. The image of him disappearing to a distance popped into her head, in spite of her ire. She had no intention of spending any more time with him, and yet she felt strangely anxious. She couldn't tell if the feeling was fueled by concern or irritation. Why had she even gotten angry with this insignificant transfer student in the first place? Did I read that right? I think I did. A strange day with a strange transfer student resulting in strange emotions. Her head tilted as she reflected on what should have been a more enjoyable day than the irritating experience she just had. Whatever. It's not as if I'll ever see him again. That's what you think. The sound of the rain echoed quietly all around her. The gray sky seemed frozen in time. It was impossible to discern whether it was morning or evening. Mr. Yamashiro and Aoko were likely the only ones left at school. The unlit classroom looked overly gloomy and ominous as Aoko stood in it alone. She pulled up her left sleeve. Her dainty, unremarkable watch showed that it was almost 1 o'clock. Well, it was right about the time. She looked out the window at the grounds below. She saw a boy in uniform running through the rain without an umbrella, a sight she must have seen before. but for whatever reason affected her far more than she had wished. Aoko did not stop by the faculty room before heading home. While Mr. Yamashiro's offer to drive her home was tempting, she decided it would ultimately be far more satisfying to ruin his day just as he had hers. Oh, the pettiness. I love it. She walked as quietly as she could towards the entrance and opened her bright red umbrella. As she predicted that morning, the rain was waning in the afternoon. Man, I don't know why I struggled with that one. At this rate, it would probably cease completely in an hour or so. The distant sunshine would likely have reached her by the time she arrived home.
ま、それも悪くないか。
Well, I suppose it could be worse. She shrugged her shoulders in resignation. She neither liked nor disliked the rain, but she found herself enjoying her walk home with her red umbrella in hand. The teachers at Misaki High School weren't fond of bright colors, so Aoko's red umbrella was an unusual sight. Oh, okay. It's like one of those movies where like colors represent something. Like, you know, what was it? Sorry, I had cut the mic there. My dog was barking. As I was saying, it's like what's that movie? Schindler's List? You know how it's like black and white, but like whenever there was like an item of color, it will like represent something. If you haven't seen that movie, I actually recommend watching it. It's actually really good. I seen it back in what was it, high school? Like the 11th or 12th grade? I think it was the 12th grade that I watched it. But I do recommend watching the movie. The movie's really good. It has, I believe it stars Liam Neeson, if I'm correct. But yeah, watch it. I recommend it. A ghost story about how the umbrella was once pure white and had been marked or making the rounds, but it featured Aoko instead of a ghost. It was that umbrella that made her way towards Misaki Station. Oh, it was with that. Okay. The private Misaki High School got its name from the town of the same name. The area was once a sprawl of farmland and woodland, but rapid growth over the last 10 years had led to the unprecedented modernization. There you go. There were some who fought to preserve Misaki's natural treasures.
残すことには賛成ですが、それでは残すだけになってしまうでしょう。
I agree in principle to preserving the land, but not at the expense of our prosperity. With those words, the major snuffed out the voices of the minority and ushered in a long-term plan for a new urban development. More than enough funds for the urban development were collected, and the unassuming town of Misaki became the largest municipality of Misaki City in merely 10 years. I hope I said that word right. In the comments, please tell me if I did. Even though it lacked the modernity of neighboring Yashirogi, or the elegance of Misaki Hills.
それも当然よね。どういじくっても、もともとが山中の宿場町だし、山ごと切り崩すって言うんなら別だけど。
What did people expect? To keep the town hidden on top of To keep the town hidden on top of the mountain forever? It's not like that you're gonna fly on the mountain or something. I don't know, there's that one story about that man who digged a fucking mountain because his wife couldn't get like medical treatment in time, so he just dug through a mountain. I don't know, that's a... Look that up, that's another good read. Urbanization had been contained to the lowlands around the station, with most of the hills and mountains still standing as they did 10 years prior. The exhaustion of funds succeeded in protecting the old Misaki where the citizens cannot. It became a truly odd suburban town, welcoming an increasingly urban population, with its vestige of old country charm. Misaki High School was a private school established long before the town's current state. The original campus, built 50 years ago, was located up on the mountains, making its current location its second incarnation. The path to the old grounds was remote, steep, and well trodden by animals. For these reasons, among others, Misaki High School had been shuttered until almost 20 years ago, when it received a donation from a department store chain that allowed for the construction of a new campus in the city. And thus, Misaki High School reopened its doors, the old woodland campus forgotten. In fact, most of the students attending Misaki High School were not from Misaki at all. The hardy, rustic people of this country town preferred prefectural high schools to private ones, so public schools, pretty much. Truth be told, Aoko herself was one of them. All she had wanted after junior high was to move to Tokyo, where she hoped to spend her days enjoying live music on her way to entertaining a public university. But her hopes were dashed with her sister's departure, so here she was, walking alone in a town with only a red umbrella to keep her company on what should have been a day off.
思い返してみると、
My dad just needs, I
私
don't know
の
if you
人
heard
生
him.
ってなんか災難続きっぽい。
Looking back at it now, it's like my whole life has been one disaster after another. Her frustration evaporated in the cold December air. Wasn't it just November? I'm sorry. Was there a transition? That's a long ass walk. If it was November, now it's December. Goddamn. I feel bad for her. No wonder why she didn't want to fucking go to school on her day off. It's like a day walk or a 2-day walk. Man.
でもま、いっか。
Now,
退屈だけはしないわけだし。
yeah, I bet you it's one of those like mistranslations. I'm pretty sure I meant to say December, or I mean November again, but translator probably put December by accident. Oh well, at least it's not boring. With those words, her moon brightened as she left the school in her wake. The busier part of the town met her at the bottom of the gently sloping road. You would not believe your eyes. Oh. If 10 million fireflies. I don't remember the lyrics. Wasaki's train station was brand new. Once looking no prettier than an abandoned factory, it had been renovated into a multi-purpose structure with huge department stores on its east and west sides. When the department stores first opened, Aoko and her friends had been impressed with their modern feel, but in time, the stores too became dated. She had no shopping to do today, so she passed them by. What she really wanted to do was rest at a cafe, but she fought the urge, knowing her roommate would never let her hear the end of it if she frittered away her money. Uh-oh. Something's about to happen. She looked back and blinked. Time had stopped for a moment. Sorry, I said time would stop. I started thinking of JoJo and it like fucked up my head. Okay. For just a moment, she could have sworn she seen someone suspicious in a red dress out of the corner of her eye. See, this is the colors that I was talking about. They're using colors to signify certain things. Huh. Oh, that was weird. It must have been her imagination. The sixth sense chill she was experiencing down her spine was a familiar one at this point. She continued to walk home, brushing off the event as if it had never happened. In time, the chill faded, and all that was left was the sounds of the town. She sighed heavily. Had she imagined it? Am I going crazy? Oh. Even if it had been all in her head, she was far from comfortable with that feeling that still lingered.
夏場の蚊ってもう少しこう。
Even mosquitoes have the grace to buzz off eventually. Not in Florida. I'll tell you that for a fact. Not in Florida. She grumbled under her breath.
波乱万丈、商売繁盛、諸行無常と。
Whether good or bad, this too shall pass. So the saying goes.
そうそう。忙しさに愚痴を言っても始まらないわ。
Yeah, I got enough on my plate as it is. Unfortunately, summer and bugs go hand in hand. She could see how bugs could be drawn to all the sweet fruit. Oh, okay. Going off with the little music. Ranked with grease and heat. The kitchen was closed for the time being. The lunch rush had come and gone. Oh, is this I'm assuming this is Sojiro? But one last battle remained. Dinner time. Only after the evening chaos could the kitchen crew remove their white armor and call it a day. Is that what they call that? Okay. In the midst of the war zone was a lone newcomer. Yep, the Sojiro.
これ着るんですか？
Do I have to wear this? His voice was uneasy, betraying how new he was.
気持ちはわかる。俺もどうかと思うけど、店長の言うことだから、もう笑顔で乗り越えてくれ。これも商店街の明日のためなんだとよ。
Okay. I know how you feel, man.
申し訳ないんだが、
God damn.
雨も止んだし、なんとか行ってきてくれないか。無事帰ってきたら晩飯おごってやっから。
I know how you feel, man. I feel the same. Unfortunately, it's the boss's orders, so you have to suck it up, okay? The future of the shopping arcade is at stake, apparently. I really hate to ask, but the rain has stopped, so would you mind going out for me? Get back in one piece, and I'll buy you some dinner. His bright orange coworker opened his clasped hands together as to beg for forgiveness as he sat on him with this unreasonable task. "10 years ago, Masaki City was a town of farm and woodland. But everything had changed when the Fire Nation attacked. The front of the station was now lined with tall multi-story buildings, and the residential areas were similarly full of apartment complexes. The once rustic scenery around the station had long become a thing of the past. How do you say that? Shiro Inuzuka was the only place in the city that still contained vestiges of the old town, a pocket of the past inside an urban jungle. The road extended up a high hill to an old residential district far from the hustle and bustle of the train station. Long ago, it had been considered unwise to build on high ground, so nobody lived above a certain elevation until you get hit with a tsunami. Shiro Inuzuka, sitting as it did atop a hill in the middle of town, was no exception to that convention and had no residence to speak of. The asphalt continued for some time, eventually giving way to a mountain road that was swallowed into the cover of trees. A lone vending machine stood to mark the boundary between town and beyond. Even the children knew that there was nothing beyond the new playground in development that so enthralled them. Well, that was not entirely true. There was nothing besides the haunted house. Let me guess. She lives in that quote-unquote haunted house. Aoko Elzaki traversed the long slope. Below her, she could see the whole of Masaki. The symmetrical town looked like a miniature set from this height. It would look like a painting if there had been a sea next to it, but unfortunately, Masaki City was very much landlocked. While it was overcast at the moment, the scene was quite breathtaking on clear evenings. The view was the one thing that made the arduous climb worthwhile, and today she had been denied even that.
雨の日は自転車も使えないし、1日に2回ぐらいバスでも通ってくれないもんかな、ほんと。
She says a lot, doesn't she? I'd cycle home if it wasn't for this rain. Even a bus route would be a fine thing. What do you mean you can't cycle in the rain? I'm from Florida. I do that all the time. I mean, if we think about it, Japan's just a 10 times better fucking Florida, you know? They don't have crazy shit like we do here. They're clearly our superiors when it comes to the one-on-one contrast, or comparison at least. Alka had been using this road to get to school for almost 2 years now, but the journey had never gotten easier. And she's got tree trunks for legs.
あれ、鍵閉まったまま?
Huh. It's locked.
アリス、まだ帰ってきてないんだ。
I guess Alice isn't back. With a weary shrug, she put her hand on the rusty iron fence. Quietly, the heavy gate swung open as if to welcome her home. Sweet home sanitarium. Alrighty, I think that's how we're gonna end it. There sits atop that hill a haunted house. Sorry, once again, my dog was barking, so I had to pause my mic. But I think that's gonna end it today. we just got basically a preview of what the city is like. So a nice, what used to be an old countryside place is now a little urban town. So not too bad, man. We have yet to see Alice, so I mean, considering what I've seen, what she looks like, we haven't seen her just yet. So hopefully the next time I upload another video, we do see her. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. This is your boy White Album, signing out.